Good day, viewers. Welcome to the Physics Mind and to another day of the lesson on dimensional analysis. Today, we'll be looking at a technical question on dimensional analysis. And remember, we said that one of the uses of dimensional analysis is to show the relationship between measured physical quantities. So this example is actually on how to use dimensional analysis to what? Obtain the relationship between measured quantity. Now let's look at the example. Now we have a question which says that the period of oscillation of a simple pendulum is related to its length L and acceleration due to gravity G by this equation. T is equal to 2 pi L per x and G per y, where x and y are constants. Find the values of x and y. All right, so this is the equation we are given. We are told that T here stands for the period of oscillation, and L is the length of the simple pendulum, and G is the acceleration due to gravity. We should obtain the values of x and y. So let's write down our equation. Solution, we have T is equals to 2 pi L per x and G per y. All right, so the next thing to do is for you to use dimensional analysis to solve this question, you need to substitute the dimensions of your period C, the dimension of L, which is the length, and the dimension of your G, which is the acceleration due to gravity. Remember that 2 pi here is a what? Is a constant. So you ignore it, or you just solve the question as if 2 pi does not actually what? Exist. All right, so let us write down the dimensions of T, L, and G. So recall that T, which is the period, the dimension is what? What is period? Period is the time taken for a body to make one complete what? Rotation or revolution. So it means that period is a time. So it also have the same dimension as what? Time, which is capital T. All right, the next one is what? Length. And our length is a fundamental quantity, and the dimension is what? Capital L. And lastly, our gravity, G, acceleration due to gravity. So it is actually an acceleration. So it takes the same dimension as what? Our acceleration, which is what? LT per minus 2. All right, so let's substitute these values of, or the dimensions of period, length, and gravity into our equation to have the values of x and y. All right, so substitute the dimensions. Substituting their dimensions, we have our T, which is equal to what? T. The dimension of T is also T. So we still have what? T should be equal to 2 pi. So we have 2 pi. Now the dimension of L is also L, but capital L. So write capital L per x, and G raised to power y, and dimension of G is what? LT per minus 2. So this does represent multiplication. So we have times G, which is what? LT per minus 2, then per y. All right, so that is what we have. So let's continue. So we have T is equals 2 pi L per x times, now open this bracket. Now the y will multiply the power of L here, and will also multiply the power of T here. So that will give us L per what? Y times T per what? Minus 2 times y, which is minus 2y. All right, so we have T to be equals to 2 pi. So we have Lx here multiplying Ly. And from indices, we what? We write down the base, and we add the powers. So that will give us 2 pi L power x plus y, and then multiply by our t power minus 2y. All right, so what do we do at this point? Now the next thing to do is we need to compare the powers of what? L and t on the what? The right hand side of the equation and also on the left hand side of the equation. Now when you look at the left hand side of the equation, we only have t. There is no what? L. So since there is no L on the left hand side of the equation, it means that there is L, but that L is actually raised to the power of 0. So it means that the L is raised to the power of 0. Or we can say that what? There is an invisible invisible L that is attached to this what? To this T. So it means I can similarly write it as L power 0, then T is equals to 2 pi L power x plus y and t power minus 2y, because it still doesn't change anything, because L power 0 is what? 1. And that 1 times t will still give us what? T. So comparing their powers, okay, so comparing their powers, we are going to compare the powers of what? Of L and T on the left hand side and also on the right hand side. So we write that for L, now what's the power of L on the left hand side? The power of L on the left hand side is 0. And the power of L on the right hand side is x plus y. Let's call this equation 1. And let's also do that for what? For T. And then for t, the power of t on the left hand side, remember that the power of this t here is what? Is 1. So we have 1 is equal to, what is the power of t on the what? The right hand side is equal to minus 2y. Let's call this equation 2. All right, so from this, we are going to find the values of our x and y, and then we substitute. So by this, we can easily find the value of y from this what? Second equation than to find the value of x from what? The first equation. So from this second equation, to get our y, we divide both sides by minus 2 by minus 2. So this goes with this. So our y is now equals what? Minus 1 over 2. So since y is equal to 1 over 2, let's substitute the value of y to be minus 1 over 2 in equation 1 to obtain the value of x. So we'll say put y to be minus 1 over 2 into equation 1. And from equation 1, we have 0 is equals x plus y. All right, so 0 will now be x plus y is equals what? Minus 1 over 2. So that will give us what? X minus 1 over 2. So 0 is equals x minus 1 over 2. So we are looking for x. What do? We move minus 1 over 2 to the other side. So therefore, that will give us what? X to be equal to 1 over 2. So we have gotten our x. So we've gotten our x to be equal to 1 over 2. And our y to be equal to what? Minus 1 over 2. So let's substitute the value of x and y in our equation to find the actual relationship between them. And recall that the equation given is t is equal to 2 pi L power x and g power y. So let's substitute the value. So t now becomes 2 pi L power x is what? 1 over 2. And then g power y is what? Minus 1 over 2. All right, t is equal to 2 pi. Now, L power 1 over 2, remember from indices, is the same thing as the square root of what? Of L. So I have square root of L, and then times g power minus 1 over 2. Remember also from the same indices that is the same thing as what? The 1 over the square root of what? G. So that will give us 1 over square root of G. So T will now be equals 2 pi square root of L divided by square root of G. Now, which is the same thing as 2 pi square root of L over G. So this gives us the what? The actual relationship between the what? The measured physical quantity. All right. Thank you for viewing. Please make sure to you like and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. Bye.